Supplements worked for me. Probiotics helped, mood supplements helped, sleep supplements helped, even the natural energy drinks, they did help for managing or dealing with fatigue throughout the day. But I realized something that honestly stopped me in my tracks. I didn't want to be dependent on any of it long term. And what I'd seen as a nurse confirmed that decision even more. I was doing what most people do when they have these issues, try to fix it quickly. So I added probiotics for gut, supplements for mood and sleep, and natural drinks for fatigue throughout the day. And again, to be clear, it worked. I did feel better in mood. I did feel better in having more energy throughout the day. I wasn't having those noonday crashes. I did sleep better, and my gut did improve. You can go and take a look at the previous videos I did about the top 3 supplements or the top supplements I took for gastritis. I outlined in there how they help. So this is not a matter of saying that those didn't help, because they very well did. The truth is, deep down, I kept thinking, is this how I'm going to live the rest of my life? Am I going to have to be reliant or dependent on supplements? Am I going to have to be stacking up on supplements for long term in order to feel better and not have these ongoing issues? And we weren't created to take supplements, so to speak. Supplements have a place, and that is to supplement. So by asking this question, am I going to be reliant on this for the rest of my life? That did something, made me start thinking differently. And that's when things started shifting. So I realized that all these issues I was having, these are things that the body is supposed to naturally regulate, right? And you would think that's a no-brainer, but oftentimes we get so caught up in our everyday routine and just trying to get through the day that we lose sight of this, right? So your gut is supposed to heal and repair naturally, right? Your mood is supposed to be stabilized. Your gut, your mood, your energy, your sleep, like all of that is supposed to be functioning like a well oiled machine, right? But oftentimes we get caught up in everything else and we just simply forget or lose sight of how the body is naturally supposed to function. And so, whenever dysfunction shows up, rather than taking a step back and addressing the root of the issue, we tend to look for quick fixes so that we can just get on with our day and our lives and not having to worry about anything else. So, all these issues are not things that should require external factors in order to regulate or to fix it on a consistent basis. But again, oftentimes we find that that's the case because, again, we just want to resolve the discomfort and get on with our day. So I had to be honest with myself. And honestly, I didn't want to grow old managing my symptoms with a list of different medications or a stack of supplements that I just had to take. And by all means, there are supplements that are necessary to include in regimen, especially with me switching to a whole food plant based lifestyle. Supplements like B12 and vitamin D are some of the things that I absolutely include in my regimen. Some of the things I include in my regimen. But in terms of taking things to not have specific day to day discomfort, right? If I don't take my B12 today, I'm not going to suddenly just feel sluggish because I am. The other things that I'm including in my daily regimen are optimizing my health to where I can still function and feel well, right? But having to rely on supplements day in, day out so that I'm not having bloating, abdominal discomfort, pain, all that. I just didn't want to do that. I knew there was a better way. And and this is where my experience as a nurse kicks in, right? Because I was talking to veteran nurses, nurses who have been nurses for probably since I was a child, right? And they too were having digestive issues. And it just, something about it didn't sit well with me, right? And for some of them, they were okay with just managing the symptoms day in, day out. Whatever comes up, they address that. And for others, it grew to a point to where management of symptoms were not enough. And so their disease had progressed to where it literally required further or more in-depth management for them to have relief, whether it was through having some sort of surgery or something else, right? Whether it was them having chronic fatigue or the constant stomach discomfort that never truly goes away, but it's okay whenever they take something. Many of them were in a place to where they needed or seemingly needed outside interventions to manage their their symptoms so that they could function on a day-to-day basis. I worked as a hospice nurse and I absolutely loved working as a hospice nurse, one of my favorite things to date. But to be honest, working in hospice, I got to see a different perspective. I saw where patients were still taking medications for digestive issues until their dying day. Now, that did something to me. It's one of those things that you notice day in day out because you're the one reconciling the medication list and things of that nature, and reordering medication as needed and such. And so that sat with me, right? And when I developed or started having my own digestive issues, and I looked and saw that the same things they were taking were the very things that I was being prescribed, it made me think, is this how I want my health to be, right? And people have to do what they have to do in different cases, but for me, I wanted different. So right there and then I knew I had a choice to make. I could continue managing my symptoms or adding more supplements with the hope that things wouldn't progress, or I could step back and ask, what is my body actually missing? What is it that my body is actually telling me? Like, what are the signals that I am not paying attention to? When I stopped focusing on just managing the symptoms and started focusing on how to restore my body naturally, I realized something simple but powerful. The things that I was trying to manage with supplements were things that I could actually take care of by paying attention to how I was eating, what I was eating, managing my stress, and managing day to day activities, how I was treating my digestive system on a day to day basis. All those, all those were factors that I had control of and things that I could be in control of to ensure that I wasn't overwhelming my gut. Because in most cases, your gut is not broken, it's just overwhelmed. And that's exactly why I created something simple to start the process. If you've been relying on medication and quick fixes and stacking up supplements and you just want something simple to restore, because deep down you know you want a more sustainable resolution to the issues you're having, start here. Click the link in my description to get your gut score and start your journey. Start here today.